Well, here on 5 News Plus, we are streaming live every day at 12:30. Ahead, we're keeping an eye on the Federal Reserve. They're in big meetings that could impact your finances. But first, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders sat down Monday for a fireside chat with state electric leaders. They say Arkansas is stepping up its push to be at the center of the global race for lithium, a critical component in electric vehicles and renewable energy. They say the state has the potential to lead the way in U.S. lithium production by extracting in an environmentally friendly way while still supporting traditional energy sources like oil, gas, and coal. The governor says it will come during a competitive time with U.S. trading competition.
I think it is a more of everything, all of the above strategy, and ultimately it has to be about America dominating when it comes to energy, space, and capacity and not allowing somebody else to take it.
Supporters argue the balanced environmental approach ensures the U.S. stays competitive globally without abandoning the energy sources that keep the grid running today. And the public is weighing in on transportation plans. The Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission held an open house yesterday about the Forward 2050 Regional Transportation Plan. They say the plan guides what transportation projects are focused on as the region looks toward a projected million people population in 2050. The commission says it can be a challenge accompanying the needs of many planning partners.
30 cities in the region. We're working with 3 counties, and so just trying to get everybody on the same page of what does that transportation system look like in the future. And then the more important question is, how are we going to fund and pay for that infrastructure that will be needed to serve that million population?
The plan is updated every 5 years to match the needs of the community. The public comment period will go until January 12th. And at the Capitol, President Trump says he's open to expanding U.S. military operations against drug trafficking beyond Venezuela, possibly to Mexico and Colombia. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are briefing top congressional leaders this afternoon on the controversial September 2nd double tap strike that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack on alleged drug boats off Venezuela. Democrats are pressing the administration for more information and for the release of an unedited video of the operation.
I think it's really important that people see what it looks like when the full force of the United States military is turned on 2 guys who are clinging to a piece of wood and about to go under.
President Trump also says it's up to Secretary Hegseth whether the full video of the strike should be released amid continued scrutiny on Capitol Hill. The Federal Open Market Committee is meeting today and tomorrow. That's the Federal Reserve panel that decides interest rates. As its members look at economic data, they might also have an eye on the Supreme Court. Amy Kiley reports on why and how it might affect you.
The Federal Reserve might seem far away, but it impacts people at home, including the cost of literal homes. Today, the Fed is starting a 2-day meeting in which it's expected to cut the federal funds rate. That would put downward pressure on interest rates for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and other debt. The central bank also tries to balance maximum employment with control of inflation. In other words, it affects people's jobs and the prices they pay. But many experts predict just a 1/4 point cut tomorrow.
We shouldn't look to the Federal Reserve to solve all of our ills or believe that a small shift in interest rates can make a big difference.
The Supreme Court is considering a case that could affect the Fed. It challenges President Donald Trump's firing of a former FTC commissioner. The case could affect his power over other independent agencies like the Fed. A hearing yesterday suggests most justices might side with Trump.
Independent agencies are not accountable to the people.
There is no such thing in our constitutional order as a 4th branch of government that's quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative.
Trump wants to fire Fed board member Lisa Cook and fill the panel with loyalists. He wants to force a large rate cut regardless of economic data. Investors worry that would cause inflation to surge.
Former Fed officials and economists, they warn that artificially low interest rates can backfire.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And back here at home, the Scott Family Amazeum is getting a $25,000 donation to boost hands-on learning and education. The Arvist Foundation is giving the money to support the museum's Expanding Futures campaign. The $25 million initiative includes new spaces for early childhood learning, community programs, and exploring the outdoors. Construction on the project began in June, and the spaces are expected to open next year. In Poto, Carl Albert State College has announced a $23 million donation from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott. She's the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. She's donated millions to multiple universities across the nation in the last month. CASC said in a statement, the $23 million contribution, quote, reflects the donors' belief in their mission of providing accessible, high-quality education.